Hello everybody, this is Pete from Yellow 9. Today's February 4th, 2012. The boys and I are getting ready to hit the studio in Bristol to do some final mixing on our new album, Dead Man's Cigarettes. We're going to have some video footage throughout the day, probably going to be a few fights, and probably going to be even worse than that if all goes according to plan. Alright, so sit back, enjoy the ride, and wait for the album.
What do you think of the both? Bass? Oh, that half a decibel drop is fine. Yeah, for you guys.
Yeah, I can't tell if this was erased or not. Can you play from the beginning just one more time? Listen to the hi-hat and the tambourine.
And undone?
I have a note that one of them was too thin trebly. That's alright.
Sounds fine.
Yeah, good.
That's it right there, yeah.
Yeah, that was when we had mentioned a few times on the phone. That's necessary for this. Yeah, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't compressed, it wasn't limited, because it throws off what you think is good and bad. You know, if the mix is good, normal, nice and dynamic with all the range in there, when you begin to compress it and boost it up in volume, it's only going to get better sounding. So.
So what you do is just boost the overall volume.
Yeah, there's a couple of tricks with mastering, but mostly it's just various types of compression, usually a couple subtle stages of compression, which just takes the overall dynamic range and compacts it in. And then the limiter just prevents it from clipping, so you can really jack it up even a little bit more. And then, you know, you can start to
balance track to track.
Right, that's the other biggest thing, is that you balance out the tracks.
Yep.
Then some final equalization. Like I know some of these that I played in my car, they're a little less bright, and other ones are a little more bright. So those are the other things that get, you know, fixed in the mastering stage. Those all get balanced out.
Yeah.
So
probably the cleaner ones are brighter, and the heavier ones are.
It varies.
Yeah.
It varies. You know, I mean, when I'm mixing, I'm also a lot of times, especially with a lot of guitar layers, I will kind of try to get it a little less bright sounding because I want to have that crankability in the mix. I want to make sure, hey, if you really turn this up, it doesn't start to get brittle to your ears, because I don't like piercing sounds. But I know that that's something that then when you go to, you know, final master, just a little EQ dip and, you know, or boost will just restore the perfect amount. So you get crankability, because I want to crank a mix up. And, you know, there's some bands that I've had, you know, I've listened to a mix of, and it's like, why does that hurt my ears when I turn it up? You know, even on the radio, some songs are just like, Jesus Christ.
You get these engineers, they brick wall stuff.
Yeah, of course is good. Maybe slightly loud in the verse.
A little out in the verse, but
yeah.
Let me just bring it down a little bit overall.
We're going to stand the drums?
Yeah, I might as well.
Because this I had some, we all had notes.
Yes, I have several.
I didn't. I think the drum sounds fine.
Just actually two drum nuts, one on the bass and one on the toms.
Yeah, I just want to hear the bass drum isolated. I think you get just goes up and down, or no? You got forward, front, back on the other one, huh?
Well, it crashes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got drums and guitar, man.
I try.
Although I will note that it's, the first note is really I think the mix on the new ones was really good.
It was
There's
amazing.
Just specific parts that we wanted.
Dude,
It
you
sounds-
did a great
it sounds-
I don't know why that one was so hard.
I wrote next to here was really good overall.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that was the best mix of the
It's,
whole
it
thing.
Really?
was.
No shit.
Your mixes made me like songs that I didn't like prior.
Oh, that's
If
good.
that makes sense.
I'll take that
I
as
was
a
like,
massive compliment.
I was
Thank
like,
you.
I was like, I never liked this song. Now I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. I think
To do what? I missed part of what
I
you
think
guys talked
if you take and EQ it so that there was a little
The
bit
whole
more
side
comment on his part,
Close.
I think the end will work.
Yeah, you can't distort it too much, but
No,
It already
but,
is.
no,
Because he played
but,
it clean.
yeah.
Right.
but I
So
think if
we
you
already-
make it work, I think
Right.
I think the end that you don't like will work.
Well, Mom talking about a part.
I know, but
Oh,
I
you're
think
thinking
it'll
the
work
end
if you beef it up a little bit and make it a little bit more. If you EQ it a little bit more. That's my opinion.
EQ it to what? Like more bass, you mean? Or
Well,
I'm not really
You
following.
want a dirtier sound
Yeah.
to it.
You say you already did
Distorted
that.
sound.
He played it clean. We put distortion on it. So there's
Or
distortion.
like,
No,
you
no,
know,
no, no,
like-
no, 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 no. You guys are talking about.
All
I'm
right.
not happy with the bass in the song.
Okay. Well, let's make you happy with the bass. Start with the drum.
Let's do, the whole song's like two basses. Not that I don't mind the low end, but
All right.
there's a lot of finality. Still want that ball.
Full song.
Lost too much of the
So that's a little bit more low.
low. Lost too much of that.
The other low.
Two more weeks.
We're playing
No, we're not-
playing
we're
this
not-
at the Tiger.
For our CD release party.
I say we bring out songs from our first album, the best of the first album.
Yeah.
We're gonna play some of the second.
We did.
What's that?
Yeah.
No, I agree, but not too many.
Down or just
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
out?
Mark.
This is
We're
what
gonna
the
play a couple like Undone and
No,
Undone is the new album, Brian.
right.
Alone.
Well, from the
That's-
first
I'm
album, we
talking
always play
sections.
alone. That's it.
There's an art to live play and there's an art to studio play
Yeah,
because there are
totally
things that
different,
happen
totally
that
different,
it's just
right.
like, wow, I never even heard that live because I never had to.
Yep.
I didn't know that I wasn't muting that string.
Right. Yeah. 'cause
Seriously. It's like, whatever, I didn't even hear that string.
Yeah.
It didn't exist.
But I'd rather play to an album, even when you play covers. How I do fill-ins and
Yeah.
this and that, even as a guitar player.
Yep.
How many
Right.
parts you want to do. And then you got to do it live. It's like,
And
where
then,
do I split
like-
the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've learned, like contextually, I think I have really, really great tone. But for a lot of these songs, like Pete's tone was way more appropriate if I played through Soldano or something. Like live, I think my tone is much cleaner
Yep.
than Pete's.
Live or just
In general,
general,
like
yeah.
it's way cleaner. I just
Yeah.
that's who I am as a person. That's what I like. But for
You do like getting dirty.
It's on video right now.
Facebook.
However, like for like Dead Man Cigarettes,
I don't ever work around small
I didn't have the
children.
right tone for Dead Man. I didn't have the right tone for Dead Man Cigarettes. I had the right tone for what
I think your tone was very complimentary for DMC.
Yeah.
No,
I think it was very complimentary for that
Especially the
song.
intro.
You're right.
Huge.
No, you're right. It's good because we like our tones work well. Like the sum of our.
That's
tones
how we arranged
greater-
ourselves,
you know?
It's greater than the sum of its
Yes,
parts.
That's the key. Yes.
Right.
Some
But you
guitars
did have to
do that.
boost my solo tone for that one thing. You know?
I think you figured out your place in the band.
You
How
can,
to
you
solo.
can,
Oh my
come see
God.
us
Only took me a
live.
couple of years,
Really
but
want
I'm
to.
here.
Yeah, when's
Yeah.
your next gig anyway?
Well, we
Pete-
got February 18th on
Pete grew
in Stashes.
5 years
in New
into.
London,
Yeah,
and then
that's right.
Hungry
Yeah.
Tiger in Manchester in
Playing on his album,
April
April 21st.
April 21st, Hungry Tiger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where was the place in New London?
Stashes.
Stashes. Yeah. Okay. What that used to be. What was that used to be?
before.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep. Well done.
it's your part.
Looks like we're almost done.
Jay, last snippet of the last song.
Yeah. What?
Your note.
Your note.
My note. I think we should all drink some.
Yeah, we got a little bit left.
We all have enough for us to have some bourbon for the end.